Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a good hump day morning. As you can see, the pimple has not fully gone away, but that's okay. It's getting there. So I just wanted to quickly get on here and talk to you a little bit about what I was thinking yesterday. So again, I'm trying to be better about sharing things as they come to me. So I was writing an assessment for this volunteer that I interviewed, this woman, and for some reason when I interviewed her, I thought that she was older. I thought she was like in her 40s or something, very accomplished. As I'm writing like all the educational degrees that she has a PhD, she's working on another one, and just like the list goes on and on. And then I look at her age and she's 30, and I'm like, 30? That's like a little over 2 years from now for me. And I started laughing, and it just kind of brought me to a time where, I used to compare myself a lot to other people, especially in my weight loss journey, or even just before the weight loss journey started, just in general, like always comparing myself to people, without understanding that everybody has their own journey and we all have our own paths. And so that's kind of the main point that I want to throw out there in this video. It's to not compare yourself. You're not late in the game. I like to say that in regards to like dancing and stuff, because there's like 15-year-olds living my dream already. But even then, like, there's no being late in the game, because everything happens the way that it's supposed to. You have to trust your process. You can't compare yourself to somebody else. I've lost, 75 to 80 pounds thus far in my weight loss journey, and the next person that lost 80 pounds doesn't have the same body that I do. Maybe they have a flatter stomach. Maybe they don't have any stretch marks. Maybe, I don't know, they're just proportioned differently, and that's okay. That's their journey. This is my body. This is my journey, and I know that as women, we get a lot of pressure, I think just in general as human beings, but for my ladies out there, we get a lot of pressure into, about by 30, you have to be a parent. By 30, you have to have all your educational degrees. You have to have your career. You have to be an entrepreneur, or whatever the case may be. There's so much pressure that by 30, you have to do stuff. By 30, you have to do nothing. By 30, you have to live. Just continue to heal. And again, always remembering that person's path is their path, and instead of it being like damn, like I'm not there yet. I am nowhere near a PhD. Got my bachelor's, but the master's isn't going to be coming anytime soon. School isn't really on my plate right now. So PhD will come later. That's always been one of my life dreams, to be Dr. Brenda Suarez. So it will happen. But later on, definitely not by 30. And I can't feel insecure about that. And I don't. I'm very confident in my path and in my journey and the things that I'm doing for myself. The next person, again, can think that I'm late, or that I'm too old to do certain things, but that's okay. That's someone else's opinion. So in my opinion, you're not too late to do anything. Obviously if you're like 70 trying to have a child, maybe you're too late in the game. So there's certain things that, yes, it applies to, but things like degrees, things like where you need to be in your career, or how many kids you need to have, or how long you need to be married, and all that stuff. Like, we're not in ancient times anymore. There's no rush. There's no time limit. The only person that you're trying to be compete against is the person who you were yesterday. We're not competing against anything, and again, just focus on your path and congratulate those people. Like, when I was writing that assessment for her and I was listing all the degrees, I'm like, damn, okay, girl, get it, and still working on the next one. Like, kudos to you for doing that. That empowers me to push harder. Maybe not necessarily in education, but just in or degree wise education. You should always push for education however it comes, but push for my goals to set bigger goals and to do more things to try to get there. So again, the gist of my morning message is just to remind you to not compare yourself. Don't feel the pressures of someone else being diving deeper into their career or making more money than you are, or before. You know, there's like 21-year-olds that are already making six figures. I would love to make six figures right now, but I will one day. That's not what's happening right now, because that's not a part of my path, and I'm gonna trust the process that I will get there. I am taking the steps to get there, to be an entrepreneur, to be self-employed one day, to make the six-figure salary that I've dreamed of. But it's okay that it's not happening right now, because it's just not a part of my path. So always remember that. Happy hump day. I'll end it here so that you don't have to keep listening for another however many minutes I have left on this video, and just stay tuned. Continue to watch the movement. I really appreciate you. I'm working on the looking on the camera. I know it's hard. I want to look at myself. But have a great day. Have a good rest of your week, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Welcome, just kidding, of Heal Up with B.